Good morning, everyone. Oh, that's loud. Thank you for joining me in this session. I understand that it might be a little bit earlier for some of us after last night party, so thank you for being here. So my name is Raúl Benencia, and in this session I want to introduce Shoelaces, which is a tool that we use for automating the operating system installation in ThousandEyes, which is where I work. So a little bit about me. I'm from Argentina. I'm currently living in San Francisco, California. I work at ThousandEyes, which kindly sponsored my trip to DebConf, so thank you, ThousandEyes. And I have been a Debian user and contributor since 2007, more or less. With not a lot of involvement, but I managed to adopt some orphan packages, and last year I became a Debian maintainer. So this is my first DebConf as well. Thank you. Thank you. And I want to take the opportunity to thank the organizer team. The conference is just great. Everything is running smoothly, and I'm having a great time. So thank you for organizing. OK, so let's move to the topic of the talk. What is Shoelaces? Shoelaces is just a lightweight HTTP service. And as I said, we use it for automating the operating system installation. I'm going to describe the features a little bit later, but it's written in Go, and it supports templating and parameters. And before moving forward, I just want to do a demo so you guys know what I'm talking about. So the demo will have, on a VM, a DHCP server and a Shoelaces instance. The VM will be running on a private NAT here on my machine. I don't use the QEMU DHCP because I need to tune the DHCP server a little bit just to hook it with Shoelaces. And then on another VM, I'm going to be booting it with iPXE. This is network boot. And yeah, so there are many moving parts. So what can possibly go wrong, right? So let's go here. First, let me show you about Shoelaces. OK. Oh, actually, let's see if I do this. Oh, there we go. I just decreased it. So here is the Shoelaces web frontend. Here we're just waiting for machines or servers to contact Shoelaces. It says waiting for Macs. It's because we need an identification for the server that is booting. And when they are booting from iPXE, you can actually access the MAC address of the interface and put it on a variable and then make the HTTP request. But it can be anything, actually. So let's go here and interesting. OK, it's not in my history. Just 1 second. OK. There we go. I forgot my password. No. I was just checking that I wasn't with the caps lock. Maybe I'm a little bit nervous and I'm shaky. I'm pressing. Wait. What? I was hacked. Oh, I see what's happening. I am actually in the VM of Shoelaces. No. This needs to be done on my VM. That's why it was not in my history. See? There we go.
This is my password. Reuse is bad.
OK, so this is the VM booting. It just went to iPXE, which is the ROM used for doing the network boot in QEMU. And right now it's waiting for DHCP, so let's hope that the DHCP server give us an IP. It should give us an IP. There we go. So we got the IP 125.26, and it automatically redirected us to Shoelaces. OK? So this is Shoelaces, and here we can see that we have this server. So now we can choose, for example, Debian. We can set up some parameters. This is what I was talking about regarding the parameters. Let's put DebConf and boot. OK. And there you can see that we are using the Brazilian mirror for downloading the kernel and the init.rd, and this is Debian-installer, which probably most of you already know about it. So I'm going to cancel the installation, but it works. Just if you want to see the blue screen, there we go. OK. Let's go back to the demo. Oh, OK. So we did this kind of manually, because we had to set up the parameters in the web frontend. But Shoelaces supports automation in certain ways that I'm going to show you right now. So this is the VM. This time I got it in the first try. There we go. So Shoelaces has this mappings file that you can actually map a network address or a host name to a booting script along with its parameters, the parameter that it's going to use. In this case, for example, I can say that all the hosts that are going to be booting from the network 192.168.125/24 automatically use the script Debian iPXE, and we can put the parameters master and the host name DebConf. OK? For the time being, Shoelaces doesn't support automatic config reloading, but we just reload Shoelaces. And then let's go back to Shoelaces a little bit. Let's show the mappings here. Here, this is the mappings. So we can see that we have the one that we just added, we have this one, and also we have hostname mappings. The hostname mappings works basically, Shoelaces will try to get the reverse DNS of the server that is booting, and if there is a PTR available, it will check with a list of regular expressions. If it matches, like in this case, for example, all the hosts that the reverse DNS start with MySQL, then it will just assign the Debian recipe with the parameter stretch and hostname MySQL server. OK? So let's try this now. I'm going to execute exactly the same. And if this works, it will automatically boot without us having to go to the front end and put the parameters and all that. So let's see. The DHCP is the slow part here. There we go. See? Just directly jump towards getting the kernel and the init RAM image. And we don't have to go to the front end. So that way, if we have a preseed that is actually completely automated, we have a completely hands-off installation of a server. And let me kill this and go back to the presentation. OK, demo done. Wasn't that bad. OK, so let's explain what happened behind the scenes for the ones that are not very familiar with the network boot. iPXE does a DHCP request. The DHCP server detects that the request is coming from an iPXE ROM, and then it returns a link, an endpoint to Shoelaces. iPXE supports HTTP requests. So it makes the request, then Shoelaces checks whether there is a mapping set up. If there is not any mapping set up, then it will just show the host in the front end, as I showed you. And then the server eventually boots using that script sent by Shoelaces. Now, what happens if the server does not have iPXE, which is very common in the physical servers, actually? So servers usually come with just a plain PXE ROM. And you can actually configure your DHCP server to detect. If it doesn't come from iPXE, you just send the iPXE ROM. And then the server will fetch the iPXE ROM from a TFTP server, and then it will chain load into that iPXE ROM, and then the whole process starts again. The iPXE ROM will make a DHCP request, and then we already explained what happened. Contact Shoelaces, get the script, etc. So, what features do we have in Shoelaces? This is like what I show you is just the core of what Shoelaces can do. And there are some extra features, but the most important is that. The templating. So we use, as Shoelaces is developed in Go, we use Go templates for the configurations. So let me show you, for example, the Debian recipe that we use. Okay? So you can see at the beginning and at the end the tags for the Go templates, and then how the parameters interpolation works. And there you can see, for example, that in the Debian, in the Linux line, we're actually setting the preseed URL. And it's going to be fetching debian.preseed. So let's go to that debian.preseed to see what it has. OK, so here you can see that it's another template, preseed, but there at the top you can see that we are including also a common.preseed, which has another file. This feature was intended because at the beginning when we were doing the server bootstrapping in 2008, we had servers, for example, a web server or a database server, and we had the preseeds for them, and then the preseeds were differing slightly, maybe just a bunch of lines, but then we have like the preseeds exactly the same. So it was very ugly because if we wanted to change something common, then we will have to do like repeat the code. And not only for preseeds, for other configurations as well. That's the motivation. So yeah, let's go back to the presentation. Well, the other of the features is the parameters that I show you in the web frontend and also in the mappings, the networks and PTR mappings. We also support environments. This is a similar concept of Puppet environment, that you have a common base of code, a common base of configurations, and then you can have something particular for staging, something particular for prod. You can also use two Shoelaces instances. And also events. Oh, that's something neat that I didn't show. The events, it's just a log history of the things that have been happening in Shoelaces. In this case, for example, the last thing that we did was automatically boot a host with the subnet match method. And that's what we are seeing there. And security. So Shoelaces does not support authentication, but it's just an HTTP service. So we can put anything in front of it. We can put an Nginx, for example, that can do HTTPS. iPXE actually supports doing HTTPS requests. And although I don't recommend it, you can also have a Shoelaces instance running on a public network on the internet and embed a TLS client certificate into the iPXE ROM. You can actually do that, and then you will have some sort of authentication there. use cases. One of the use cases that we have for Shoelaces was we used to have a Kubernetes cluster running on CoreOS without an operating system in a secondary support, like without operating systems installed. And well, if the server reboots, which can happen, I don't know, a kernel panic or whatever, it's desirable that the server boots again. So we can use Shoelaces for automating that part, for example. Other use case is for appliances. At Thousand Eyes, we distribute to our customers a device with some software pre-installed, and we just install them by plugging these appliances in a network, and they get installed automatically. If the request comes from that network, then the appliance script is applied. And then other use case is the manual use case. Maybe you just want a quick test of something. So in that case, you just use the web frontend and you set up the parameters. OK, Shoelaces and Debian. I sent the ITP, I think it was November, December last year. And then by February, I had the package ready, February, March. I wasn't lucky. I didn't get a sponsor. So I was planning on getting a sponsor here if anyone was interested. But Derek offered, so thank you, Derek. And we will soon have it in Debian. And that's it. Thank you very much. If anyone has any questions, I may have some answers. No questions. OK. Thank you, everyone. Happy sysadmin day.